Greetings and welcome, my friend, back to my YouTube channel. I'm Matt Schifferly with another video to help you be fit and live free. Today is answering a question from the RDP mailbag asking me basically, Matt, if you don't follow any kind of regular structured workout routine, how do you track or ensure that you, or even know that you're making progress? Because several years ago, I gave up on following any sort of strict daily workout routine where I wake up each day and I'm like, oh, okay, it's Monday. That means I work legs, which means I do these exercises for these sets and these reps and this order and stuff. Instead, I adopted much more of a freestyle approach where I'm utilizing whatever energy, resources, and abilities I have on a day-to-day basis without any sort of routine. It's basically one of the best things I ever did, not only to get much better results, but also drastically reduce the amount of stress on my body, mind, and lifestyle. But I know that's a little out of step with a lot of what we're told in the rhetoric in our fitness culture. That says, well, if you don't measure it, and you don't quantify it, and you don't track it, well, there's no way you can possibly make any sort of progress. Much less the fact that if I don't have structure that's guiding me forward, then I should be just randomly kind of wandering around without any purpose or any plan, and I'm just hoping to get any sort of success or progress by sheer luck, which is also not very reliable for being able to maintain the stimulus that's actually enabling me to keep the progress I've made. And yet I am making progress. In fact, I've never made more progress at any other time in my training career. I'm 46, I've been training for over 30 years, and I'm almost 200 pounds now. I've had a big jump up in my strength and muscle over the past few weeks, or a few months rather. I detailed this in the past few weeks on my Red Delta Project podcast on how I did that. And the reason is because ultimately, it's not the routine you follow that gets you the results you want. It's whether or not you can create a fundamental stimulus. And yes, of course, following a routine gives you a lot of structure that should guide you in creating that stimulus on a more consistent basis. However, sometimes we put the routine as the goal rather than the stimulus. So when we go into the gym and we're like, okay, it says squats 3 sets of 10 at 240, we're kind of like assuming and kind of going on to some degree luck that that's what's actually going to be necessary to create the stimulus. You never train the same body twice. Today, you've got different levels of energy, different levels of motivation. You might have different resources as far as equipment and time, and your diet's a little different. Maybe you slept better, whatever. So we're always different to some degree. And if you have a very stable lifestyle, or you're looking 9 to 5, eat regularly the same time and stuff, then yeah, the more structured routine is probably gonna get you much more consistent results. But that's far from what my situation is. Every day for me is different. Some days I'm working 3 hours, some days I'm working 15 hours. Sometimes I can run off of 5 hours of sleep, sometimes I'm getting 8 or 9 hours of sleep. I'm always radically different. And so having adaptive training where I'm not following a strict structured routine gives me the flexibility to use whatever I'm bringing into my workouts on a daily basis to effectively create the best stimulus possible every single time. And that's not to say I don't use a tracking system. My adaptive training log allows me to have structure and guidance, and I can track what I'm doing, but it also allows me the flexibility to adapt to a given circumstances. So just because I don't follow a routine doesn't mean I don't have a plan or something in place that keeps guiding me forward towards the stimulus that I'm trying to create on a regular basis. And that's why I'm ultimately still making progress. And not to mention that we humans often make a lot of progress through subjective means as well. It's not like I woke up this morning, walked out of my place here in Denver, and was like, you know what? I have absolutely no wherewithal whatsoever what the temperature is. I'd better check my weather app, look at the temperature, and it's like, oh my goodness, ooh, geez, it's cold. Now that I have a number to it, now I can be aware of it. No, of course not. I walked out and I was like, holy smokes, it is cold for the first time it's been in eons here, it seems, because we're always hot here in Denver. I had to scrape frost off my car. So that alone, I didn't need a number. I didn't need something to make me aware of it. I just could know. And a lot of times when it comes to our training or workouts, that's where you're gonna find a lot of your progress, especially as you get more advanced in your training career. because now I've got more tension control in my back. My shoulders are a lot more stable, which means that when I get down into my handstand and pike push-ups, I'm like, wow, these feel a lot stronger. These are a lot more stable. These don't feel nearly as hard in my shoulder joints, but they're a lot harder in the shoulder muscles. I don't have a number on these. I don't have a routine that's telling me these things, but I sure as hell can be aware of it. And because of that, I'm harnessing that and focusing that, building it up even more, which is keeping me moving forward. So in your own training, don't put a routine in charge. You be in charge of the routine. The routine is there to guide you. It's like the road that you drive on with your car, but it's not going to make you turn if you don't want to turn, right? You have the same authority over your workouts. If you feel like, I think I can work my legs harder if I do a different exercise or use a different piece of equipment or make a change, then by all means do, because you probably are better off. But at the same time, you still want to have that compass needle of what kind of stimulus you're trying to create. And that's the thing that you're striving for, not just following the arbitrary numbers of a routine that you may have just gotten randomly off the internet anyway. Hit me up at reddeltaproject@gmail.com if you've got questions you'd like me to answer for you here on the channel, as well as don't forget, I also have a live feed Q&A that I host every Saturday, 2:30 Mountain Standard Time here on the RDP YouTube channel as well. Best of luck in your workouts this week. Be fit and live free.